Hey guys, I am Ibigandscary. I'm bringing you another StarCraft 2 replay, this time featuring in our top left-hand side ALT's Storm, or ATL's Storm, Alt's Storm. This is the alternative Storm. It's a more different kind of Storm, and he's obnoxious. That's yo, 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 oh. That's not cute. You're just obnoxious. BZL's Thako, on the other hand, is our red Zerg. Both players are in gold. We're on Alkaline Wastes. This, I believe, is a ladder match, just because, you know, you're two guys, identical ladder points and MMR or whatever, and you're on a map that's in the map pool. So I will assume that this is a ladder match, unless the probes have 7,000 hit points and drones can shoot laser beams out of their tails. So we got a pylon going down on the low ground. Looks like a Forge Fast expand. Not the most unheard of things in the world. This map has a very large wall. Takes 3 big buildings and you still have a gap. Regardless, it's still a very standard build, very normal build coming out from Storm, and it looks like the Thako has successfully cleared the 10 supply mark. He's going to be throwing down a 15 hatch or pool. The very typical builds coming out from both players. No super early gas, no super early gas. We're in pretty good shape. We are in pretty good shape to see a nice macro game. Here we are at the 15 supply marks. The money is being accumulated by Thako, and we still don't see anything being thrown down. Okay, there goes the spawning pool. Very good. Right at the 200 mineral mark, and he's probably going to start saving up again, just, to enough money to actually throw on that hatchery later on. Storm throwing on a gateway first, which is peculiar, but not unheard of. I mean, you can go gateway first. Traditionally, you see the gateway up here so that you actually have something to fall back upon. The key with that is you get the gateway and you have a pseudo wall off, and then you have the nexus going down on the low ground, but you rush out your mothership core so you can do the photon overcharge and actually hold the nexus if there is a rush coming up. And then you still definitely do build your wall off, but that typically comes a little bit later. It's a little bit harder to hold off that 6 minute rush. We don't see any forms of a rush coming out from Thako. He's not accumulating a lot of extra money. His spawning pool is going to be finishing in a handful of seconds. He's probably going to be producing a handful of Zerglings just for some map control. It would be wonderful for him to rush across the field and actually, abuse this lack of a wall off. The Overlord is going to be popping out. Just going to be seeing that there's absolutely nothing going on with the form of a wall off back at home, and the probe hasn't really done anything to be suspicious about. Yeah, he's scouting around, making motions like he maybe will think about throwing down a pylon for some sort of proxy. Maybe it's a little bit late for a proxy, but the Cybernetics core is going down. Where's that Cybernetics core? Oh, he's got it in his main base. Good for you, Storm. Good for you. Word of advice: you really want to incorporate that into your wall right here. It's very nice whenever you have 3 large buildings to build, the Forge, Gateway, and Cybernetics core. You can get this wall off with those 3 large buildings, and then maybe a pylon, maybe a handful of zealots, something like that. The 4 Zerglings really not enough for Thako to actually punish the lack of a wall off. Yeah, they could get in there. Yeah, they could start doing some damage to the Nexus, and the Gateway's not even doing anything. We don't see a single zealot. We don't see a stalker now that the Gateway is done. He's not building anything. Holy crap. Thako has the door completely wide open, and he's aware of it. I mean, he had his Overlord right there. He's probably not aware that the Nexus is being built, though he might suspect it just because of the pylon placement and the Gateway. But remember, we're in Gold League. They make their own rules. It's all good. No judgment here. No judgment at all. We do see a mothership core popping out, so that natural is probably going to be safe. Only 4 Zerglings out on the field, really not enough to actually punish the ludicrous hubris of Storm. My goodness. However, Thako is getting a 3rd, and he still hasn't gotten his gas yet, so he's not planning on being aggressive at all. He's just working on that saturation. Let's check that out. 27 over 22 harvesters. Very cool. Very chill. We see a robotics facility coming up, but still just 1 gas, so Storm's probably not going to be very tech intensive. He definitely needs to grab at least 1 more gas. Now that the Nexus is done, probably think about grabbing another gas down in the natural also. Would highly recommend walling this off. Just, yeah, Forge is great, but yeah, it's just starting on it. You need to do other stuff. Fortunately for Storm, the Zerglings are doing their thing, really not poking at the front, checking out for proxies, maybe a hidden dark shrine or something like that. I don't know. I have absolutely no idea what these Zerglings are doing, besides the fact that probe did get a lot of scouting out, and maybe he's worried that there is like some sort of pylon going down. It's in Gold League. They have a lot of cheesers in that lower brackets, and it's very probable that at some point today Thako was cannon rushed or had a proxy Stargate with an Oracle come out and just decimate his mineral line, his probe line. And that can grate on you. And so I understand Thako's scouting out, and he's doing a good job of scouting. Actually, he's hit every single one of the mineral patches besides the 4th and the 3rd, and he even checked out the 3rd with his Overlord. So not bad at all, not bad at all. And it looks like the wall is coming together in kind of a haphazard sort of way. We still need a little bit more in this general area. The 2 Zealots really not doing their thing. If Zergling speed was done, those Zerglings would be able to rush right through and still do a pretty good number on the mineral line. Speaking of mineral line, saturation is looking top drawer. It looks like the Warp Prism is done and the first Immortal is on the way, and it's actually rallied into the Warp Prism. So we could see an Immortal drop, and it's going to be accompanied by a butt ton of gateways. Yeah, we've got 5 gateways on the way, so 6 total. Plus the Immortals, that's quite a lot of damage, actually, quite a lot of damage. Lair is coming out. Roach Warren is already done. Still just 1 gas. Oh, no, I stand corrected. He double-tapped the gas down in his natural. So 3 gases total. Thako's economy is worlds better than Storm's, 48 over 78. My goodness, 55 harvesters. That is quite a lot of extra income, and he knows it. He's going to be spending that down in the form of double Evo chambers. However, you know what? Does a number on... oh, where is it? Where is it? Yeah. You know what does a number on the drone count is Immortals, and we have a 2nd Immortal popping out. This one's not rallied into the Warp Prism, but I strongly suspect that he's waiting with this Warp Prism for that. As Gateway Tech is done, he's going to be moving out and actually doing some pressure with +1 finishing. This is actually not a bad timing from Thako. He was so incredibly exposed with this terrible wall off early on, but he's actually made this work into some sort of build, and this is actually going to do quite a lot of damage, and his wall off is now complete. So yeah, Storm's doing a good job, man. He's actually crawled his way back from a a delicate situation into something that's a little bit more impressive. Thako even working on the creep spread with his queens. He's staying on top of his larva injects. Every single one of his mineral lines are saturated. Even this one's oversaturated, dare I say. We have a couple more geysers that could be tapped, but he could also progress along that tech path a little farther. He's got glial reconstitution and +1 range coming out. Still no armor, I don't think. Yeah, Roaches don't have that armor just yet, so they're going to be incredibly exposed to this Immortal. And this Immortal is going to be accompanied by a lot of Zealots. This is going to do a lot of damage. Still, the supply discrepancy is pretty absurd. However, once these Immortals decide to, they're going to turn these drones into absolutely nothing. Oh no! The Roaches barrel in and they get a flank on those Immortals, and the Zealots do not tank the fire from that. One of the Immortals goes down almost instantly, but they're quickly reinforced by another stream of Zealots. Good control by Thako to pull back not only his drones, but also his Roaches to get them away from that hailfire from that Immortal. A good surround by those Roaches, once again forcing the pickup of that Immortal. No drop micro from Storm. If he could just drop that down and allow a pot shot and then pick it up quickly. But now that all the Zealots are gone down, dropping it would be pretty much instant death, as its shields are pretty much totally gone. You can tell by that little blue box, meaning that the shields are pretty far gone. The brighter blue that is, the more shields that actually has. We can see that once he drops it off. Going to be warping in a handful of Stalkers this time. An okay choice. Definitely do better against Roaches than Zealots, but in reality he's probably going to have to retreat. Everything's just going to get melted away. The sheer numerical superiority of these Roaches means that everything gets cleaned up, especially now that +1's going to be finishing, so he's going to be on even footing with the upgraded advantage. It looks like that Immortal took some hull damage. Oh my goodness, he's playing with fire. If he drops that one more time, he is absolutely done. Those Roaches proving that they're pretty cost effective, I have to admit. Actually, resources lost pretty much neck and neck. Any drones going down? Just the one. Just one, not bad at all. We saw that getting taken out by the Immortals. It looks like another drop's going to be going off into the natural. This one's pretty much undefended, but the Roaches are very short distance away. And remember, they have that glial reconstitution, so they're going to be able to reinforce very quickly. The Immortal is too shy to actually leave the Warp Prism, and it looks like the Stalkers are going to get chased back. This is actually pretty bad for Storm. He invested quite a lot into that, and the third base from Thako has gone up without a hitch at all. It looks like the destructible debris has gone down. This fourth is probably going to be taken by Thako, unless he plans on getting frisky. He's got 5 Overlords on the way and 8 more Roaches. Wow, a lot of Zealots going up back at home, but that's because he hasn't gotten any extra gas. He's still on just 1 geyser. Oh my goodness, Storm knows it. He's double tapping the assimilators, but that's not going to be enough to get him back into this. These Zealots are going to get chewed apart by those Roaches once they get up there. He needs gas. He's Protoss. He needs gas so very, very badly. Oh my goodness, Thako's economy is just gonna absolutely decimate Storm in a handful of seconds. Poking in with his roaches just to take out that third. No, you don't need to worry about that. That was a pretty all-in build, a very powerful timing attack. It wasn't really all-in; it was just very powerful timing attack from Storm. 9, 10, 12. Ridiculous number of roaches coming out. We've got +1 armor as well as +2 range and the muscular augments. So I guess we have a Hydralisk den out here somewhere, and it looks like we're going to have Hydralisks added into the composition sooner rather than later. These roaches are going to be doing quite a lot of damage, especially with only two immortals on the field. So yeah, those immortals are going to be very cost effective, especially when they're accompanied by this sheer volume of a meat shield. These zealots really not there for damage as much as they are for soaping up the damage from those roaches, allowing the immortals to do their 55 damage per shot with that +1 upgrade. It looks like all of these buildings are going to go down. Storm electing to engage once those roaches have succeeded in cleaning out his front door. Okay, only losing one gateway, getting a little bit supply blocked as that pylon goes down. But now we see the Hydralisks are being added into the composition. You know, that muscular augments is going to make it so those Hydralisks are going to be pretty much right on top of that front door in a handful of seconds. Baneling Nest coming down also. We have Charge, which is a fantastic decision from Storm as he is elected to build pretty much the entire Russian army and only zealots. This is going to be a slugfest, I can assure you. The Forge getting taken out once again. Actually, I think that was a gateway because he's got 2 forges on the production tab. And are they back at home or are these them? Yeah, these are them. Okay, great. Very, very good. So many zealots and absolutely no range at all. We just got a handful of stalkers, a handful of immortals. Oh, great. A third immortal. Perfect. That is a wise decision, I have to admit. His gas is beginning to accumulate a little bit. But, and oh good, he's moving in a lot of extra stalkers. Absolutely fantastic. And you know what? Those stalkers were just enough to hold back this roach push once again from Thako, and it looks like he's going to be retreating. He has taken his fourth, hasn't rallied his Hydralisks, but that's okay because he's got 3 other bases that are, you know, top drawer. I mean, they're cranking out all those units. 14 Zerglings, but those are probably because of the Baneling Nest, probably going to be made into Banelings, which is a fantastic decision actually because of these guys right here. These zealots are going to clump up, and they're going to take so much damage from those Banelings. Traditionally, Baneling's not the best idea. You've got other things you want to spend your gas on when you're against Protoss. However, this wise decision. This is actually a great call by Thako. He's going to be able to get those Banelings and just decimate this meat shield, and then get right on top of the heavy damage dealing units. He has 2 immortals. Did I miss a third one going down? Oh no. I guess he lost one of them in that fight. Maybe it got picked off. Maybe he got just a little bit frisky and moved off on his own. Regardless, no big deal. Storm, feeling bold, is going to be pushing out into the low ground, and the Banelings have finally finished. They are pushing forward. It looks like there goes the nice detonations on top of those zealots. We don't see a lot of them just melting away from the Baneling strikes, but it definitely weakens them to the point where they get cleaned up very quickly, and now the Concave moves forward. Thako, with more than twice the supply of Storm, is going to be pushing forward. It takes out one of the Immortals, forces a pullback, which is peculiar because he was really on the cusp of defeating Storm, but just wants to be careful. You really can't afford to commit overly, and he's got so much on the way just to add to his composition that Storm really can't expect to hold out much longer. He is on 2 bases, though, and he does have a healthy economy, but his main is pretty much mined out. Only a handful of mineral patches back at home. Thako is up on 4 bases, and yeah, he's doing that traditional Zerg thing where you only get a handful of units. Oh, the Warp Prism gets taken out. A handful of drones at this 4th base, and you only do it for gas. Just because, you know, you're a little bit more gas intensive than the other races. You need gas to basically build pretty much anything that is added into your composition. Traditionally, you don't see Zerglings thrown into the mix, but the other ones have that mineral dump, and there's really no big mineral dump for Zerg, especially when they were going Roach and Hydra like that. Good number of Hydralisks. It looks like we have a Stargate out on the field, a handful of Stargates actually, with 2 Void Rays coming out, 2 of them already out on the field, so that's going to be adding quite a lot of extra damage, and they're going to be pretty much untouchable from those Roaches, but like I said, there's plenty of Hydralisks added into this mix, and Storm is 180 or 90. He's going to get chewed alive in just a handful of seconds, so I'm just waiting for Thako to close the hammer. 3rd base coming up, which just might be the ticket for Storm. So many Banelings pushing is just going to be instantly decimated. Once those Banelings decide to actually explode, yeah, they do. There goes the entire ground army of Thako. The Hydralisks, though, there's not as many of them left now. Good game. Taps out Storm. Oh man, this was pretty raw by Storm, I have to admit. Things he could do differently. The Immortal drop was a great idea, and like I said, the timing was fantastic. You leave yourself open to so much aggression just because of that main ramp. If you're going to build the structures that you built in the order that you build them, for the love of all that is holy, put them right here, because traditionally a 6-minute mark is whenever Zerglings are going to be hitting your front door just to look around. And you saw that Thako, he's sending his Zerglings all which away just to check out for those proxies. But if he's not doing that, if he just sends a single Zergling here and a single Zergling here and a single one here, and somewhere else, he's got 4 of them. If he doesn't keep them together in a pack and uses them to scout the map, he's still going to be done scouting the entire map in like 2 minutes. 2 minutes. So he's going to have so much time to get in here and actually do some harassment. And if he wanted to, he wouldn't even have to take a third base. He could have just cranked out Zerglings after Zerglings, and you would have been done. Absolutely done, because there's nothing you can do against that when you don't have a wall. Also, really good idea to produce something out of that first gateway. He didn't build a Zealot. I'd build a Zealot just so that you have something for that wall off once it actually finishes, as well as to hold off the inevitable Zergling push that you're going to be running up against as you climb up the ladder. Thako, I like the decision to do the third. My critique of you is that you've definitely done this a lot, and you've noticed other people's build orders, and you're beginning to copy it, which is clever, very clever. I love the 4th base, how it was just used for gas, because that's totally a Zerg thing. I mean, you definitely run into that whenever you're going Spire more than anything else. Not traditionally the Roach Hydra mix. You're not as gas starved as you would be going Spire. It's not as important, but still totally a great idea. And then you also have that mineral field that you can kind of fall back upon as you begin to get mined out of your main. So great call there. I would be a little bit more active with your Zerglings. You have 4 of them. You're keeping together in a pack. There's no real reason to do that. You're hunting a probe that not really a big threat to a handful of Zerglings. So split them up. I mean, even just in pairs, you send one of them to the top, one of them to the bottom. It is a little bit more micro intensive, but like I said, you can do pressure on your opponent better than normal. I feel like you just progressed down a build order path and you got a victory because your build order was fantastic. I mean, Roach Hydra is ridiculously powerful and you did it very well. But it might behoove you to be a little bit more reactionary to what Storm is doing. You see him taking this early Nexus, you see him taking that gateway. Don't feel like, oh, well, he's taking an early Nexus, I can take a third. No, he's taking an early Nexus, you can destroy him. You've got the spawning pool out there. The second you see that, throw down a geyser, start working on speed, and then just crank out Zerglings. You already have 2 bases. Maybe get out the saturation on that second one, but go on the aggression, because your opponent has let his guard down, and you can be aggressive. It's cool. It's very cool. You know what else is cool is people who watch my videos. So feel free to stop by again and hit me up with a replay if you want me to cast something. PM me here or on Reddit. One way or another, I will see you cats later. I am Ibigandscary. Bye.